Into each life a little rain must fall. We don't normally have to do more than one take on this, but yours truly was a buffoon on the last part of the show. Let's start it out the right way, talking about the team's mission. You got Mission veterans, and off that rivalry game against Mission, and now you got them making the trip of a lifetime out to see Permian, huh?
Yeah. Hey, look, everybody's seen the movie, Friday Night Lights. Everybody's read the book. Well, most people have read the book.
Isn't there a show, too?
Yeah,
wasn't there a show?
And there was a show, too. Look,
that's the last movie I saw, by the way.
Really?
Cried like a sissy. Go ahead. Yeah.
Look, you can't. It's not the same team, all right? You're not gonna have Booby Miles. You're not gonna have any of that kind of stuff. You just gotta play. And Santos just has to be himself. With the rivalry game, I don't think he was himself. Maybe some nerves.
Yeah.
But
everybody
knows. He can spin. I'm not saying like a Booby, but he can play. The kid can play. The team can play. He just needs to, just break out of that shell. I think this is one of those games because it's all hype.
Yeah, it is all hype. And let me tell you something, man. Permian's over there going, well, we beat McAllen. The Mission veterans, they're in a lower class.
Yeah.
They're going to underestimate you. Go up there and don't get overawed by the scenery in West Texas or watching the movie. Let's go surprise some people and play some football. I bet you Vets does well. I'll put them on the upset special train for this week. Now, Mission comes back and plays Hannah. We think both those teams still have a pretty good shot at being good football teams. They showed something. Mission was up in the fourth. Hannah was up early before they lost. Which team's going to finish, I wonder?
Well, look, it's a team that likes to throw in Hannah against a team that loves to have a lot of corners out there. It's going to be interesting to see if the receivers or the corners win because Hannah can throw the ball. They got to do it for all 4 quarters.
They were up 13-0.
Yeah, but I think that, this is a fourth quarter game. It's going to be decided in the fourth quarter.
Don't want to be 0-2, do you? Sherryland 1-0, obviously. Now they take on United, and they always have some interesting games with those Longhorns.
Yeah, and the Longhorns are just like Sherryland. They're up-tempo game. They like to throw the ball. They like to get out and go. They played a tough team last week.
Yes, they did. They beat Schertz Clemens, did United, and United's always strong. I just want to tell you this Schertz Clemens district, though. Steele, Judson, and Smithson Valley. It's almost like a misprint. How can they put that many good teams in the district? Anyway, so Schertz is good. United beat them. I think United gives Sherryland a great ball game. Unbelievably great schedule here for Sherryland. God, you got Memorial, you got United. Who else is coming down the road?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I mean, and the one thing about Coach Adame is that he hasn't lost in 2 years. I mean,
24 in a row.
What does it take to become a dynasty? I mean, especially in this time. Nowadays, if he loses, he's lost a lot of players to Pioneer.
Yeah.
What he's doing is great.
Yeah. In the year of the split, they stayed in 5A. Let's see if they can beat United. They always play some good ball games together. Well, let's wing on over to the Mid-Valley here and talk about Donna Weslaco. Now, in the old days, they used to play on November 11th, Armistice Day. They do not do that anymore. Now they're playing in week 2. Weslaco needs to get back on track, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Look, a lot of people said that their secondary was, suspect against Hannah, and then when they played Harlingen South, it was the run game that really killed them. I mean, Harlingen South put a couple passes in there, but it was a run game up the middle.
And the end around that we saw in that video. Gee whiz, South was impressive, and we're going to get there in a minute. So what about Weslaco against Donna? We said, poor Donna, they got an injury. Well, this guy Doherty had a fine game. He did fine.
Yeah. And look, if you haven't seen Donna, they have a huge line, bigger line than they really usually have.
Big, mean Donna line. That's great.
They have they're about 6 foot, 6'1". Yeah. They're big guys. For the area, And so, look, this is one of those teams, and this is going to be one of those games where. Look, get there early because the game's going to be done quick.
Yeah.
It's a lot of running.
Yeah.
But Donna likes to mix in the pass.
I hope
which you saw in the last game.
Yes, we did. So. I hope there's no bending of the antennas like there usually is at Donna Weslaco, San Benito, Harlingen, Santa Rosa, La Villa. But hey, fans get crazy. They got crazy last week at Elsa, but Edcouse didn't get it done, and that was a little surprising to me.
Yeah, and they didn't really click on an offense, and their defense wasn't as stout as they have been in the past.
Like I said, bad style matchup. They're a physical team, and Rose a fast team. I like Aguinaga. Those guys are going to be fine. Like I said, Sean Hernandez, 6 catches. They just need some time to get it together and learn how to play varsity football, and they're all going to be good players. Segura, the same thing. Now they come back and they have Los Fresnos. Another team who's 0-1 is going to be mad. That's a fine football game.
Yeah, and give it up to Ed Couch because look what they're doing. I mean, they're playing some tough teams. Rose on a pushover. They're going to be in the playoffs. You're playing Los Fresnos, who will be in the playoffs. They should be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And and Los Fresnos is a very big team.
Yeah.
They have a lineman that's probably looks like TCU might be.
Yeah, is that right?
There.
Yeah, they've sent a lot of guys.
Good.
Yeah, it is. They've sent a lot of linemen onto the college ranks.
Yeah.
So Los Fresnos and Egg Couch for 2 0-1 teams. That's a game of the week candidate too, man. Now we talked quite a bit about Mercedes against Cal Allen. They've got Rowe coming up. What about some of these other teams in what we'll call in the Mid-Valley? Monte Alto, of course I gave them a kiss of death because I said London's horrible. They lost 28-7. Now they come back with a Bruni team that did a good job on oratory last week, 33-0. So you just never know, man. But Monte Alto has the athletes. Let's see what they do against the Bruni Badgers.
Yeah.
Now, what about Hidalgo and Progreso? That's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, Hidalgo they were up against Pioneer, and then all of a sudden Pioneer just said, "We're going to put 21 points up."
Yeah, and they did.
And they did. Yeah, and this is a regrouping game for Hidalgo. They've got to right the ship.
And they came into the Valley right about the same time as Progreso, maybe a little bit before them. They're the 2 newer teams in 3A back in the old days. They like to play each other. There's a lot of rivalry there. The fact is, Progreso won the ball game. They beat a 5A team. They beat Porter. It wasn't in an incredibly impressive fashion, but you get a pick 6 to win the game. I think Danny Munoz was the guy's name. That's an incredible to 69 yards. Yeah. They should be happy. They're 1-0.
Oh, I know. I mean, and think about this. It's a 0-0 game. It's not like they were
right.
They think their defense played well, and they came up big at the right time.
Dago Zamora is a pretty good quarterback. I think he was something like 7 out of 11. An efficient game at quarterback. Progreso's 1-0. La Villa beat Lyford. Now they play Taft. Taft is a team called the Greyhounds, They beat a team called Stockdale from Central Texas. You always seem to have a thing for La Villa, and you believe in their offense, and they did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Look, if you haven't seen La Villa, they've been throwing the ball forever. It doesn't matter what coach was there, Gene, Danny Pettis. It doesn't really matter. They're going to throw the ball. They're going to whip it around. They're going to put points up on the board. It's and they have to because they don't have. They don't have the numbers to be, whining and dining inside them.
De La Fuente is a big boy. Hey, Danny Pettis had one of the best turnaround jumpers in the history of Valley basketball.
Really?
You can read about it next year. Finally, before we take a break, let's go to Weslaco East. Now, East did a good job against Rivetta. Who do they got coming up next? San Benito, 53 points worth. Gabe Vasquez, man, that dude can go to the house.
Yeah. And this is going to be, look, talk about a fast game. This is going to be a fast game because a lot of running.
Yep.
So, get there early. You'll get, you can go watch a movie at 9:30.
Yeah, you can make the late show.
But, look, Weslaco East, they went down right away to Rivetta.
14-0 and came back and killed. There were a lot of comebacks last week. 5 or 6 games where it was whoop,
And San Benito, they played an Edinburgh team who's they dominated from the get-go.
From the onside kick on the kickoff, incredible. Boy, the Gomez era got off to a great start with an onside kick. They did a lot of things right. Christian Sieta is a pretty good athlete over there. Yeah. So San Benito, one of those teams that we thought, well, they're going to be this and that. Their first effort was great. Now we get to see them against a team that's a perennial playoff contender in East. That is a great game too.
Yeah, and if it's a Thursday game, so if you have a chance, you need to get out there because Bobby Lackey, it's a great experience.
It is indeed. I'll either be there or north in Rivetta at Cat Stadium. I have a feeling I might end up staying in town because I'm getting kind of long in the tooth there. Let's take a break before we go down to Harlingen, before we finish off with Willacy and Starr County teams on the show. We're having a good time.